Oh, all right. Hi, my name is Tony Langer. Um, I've been doing astrology now for almost 30 years, and I've developed a system to do a reading every day. It's based on the solar chart. For those who know nothing about astrology, let me introduce it. Because there's no way for me to know when and what time and where you were born, I devised a system that allows me to use a very old, and I'm talking 2,000-year-old method of prognostication, where I do a daily sunrise chart. Now, what a daily sunrise chart is we were all born on a particular day. So I put the position of the sun for today on the ascendant, meaning it's a new day. And then I fill in the positions of the planets for today. I also use a house system called Equal House, which then allows me to peg the chart and fill in the planets in their respective houses. If you're going to take this seriously, you're going to have to do a little bit of research. I can't do an astrology lesson, but the houses signify the areas of life. So, for instance, as an introduction, today's chart is the 25th of July, 2021. So it's the 25. So what we do is we add 8 to 25, and we get to 3 degrees of Aquarius, which is where the sun is today at 3 degrees of Leo. Sorry, my mistake. And so I put the ascendant at 3 degrees of Leo, and I put that on the ascendant. And then I fill in the positions of all the planets. Now I'm going to switch over to the other camera so that you can see the chart. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to point the camera at the charts, and I'm going to speak with the camera showing the chart. And hopefully that will be better than you just looking at my face. So here goes. Right, so to begin with, we have the sun. There's the glyph for the sun in Leo. And then we have the houses: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th house. Perhaps in future videos I will write in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the emphasis is on Leo. So all those who are born today, the 25th of July of any year, will have the sun at 3 degrees of Leo in your chart, which then allows me to say, for instance, you see Mars. Mars traditionally is the planet of war. The first house is the physicality. So if you were born today and we see that we've got Mars firmly ensconced in the first house, be careful about injury to self. Injury to self, Mars, Mars is the god of war, the Roman god of war. And the first house is your persona, is your physicality. So you can join those two archetypes together and you get the message. Okay, so let's go around the chart by house. But before I proceed, let me say that the only planet, we call it a planet, that really is of any significance in this system that I've developed is the moon. Let me explain to you the moon. The moon moves 13 degrees a day. So the moon today is at 15 degrees of Aquarius, and the moon moves on an average of 12 to 13 degrees a day. So 15 to plus 13, 15 takes us up to 25, plus 3 is 28. So the moon is going to move between 15 degrees of Aquarius to 28 degrees of Aquarius. And it's going to cover that. All the other planets move relatively slowly. And you'll see that from day to day, they're not going to change much. The only changes you might see is that as Mars, let's take Mars for instance, or I know what, let's take Mercury, because next to the moon, Mercury moves the quickest. So Mercury is never far from the sun because it's an inner planet. And there it is. It's at 23 degrees of Cancer. Okay, so these are the planets that are going to move every day. The sun obviously is going to move 1 degree every day. The moon is going to be moving 13 degrees every day. And we'll find that it's going to move into a different house. And I'll explain what that is. Mercury is going to move 1 degree, but all the other planets, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, these are not going to move very much from day to day. All right, so let's start with the first house. So we've already been cautioned with this Mars in the first house, but I want to point out something, that Mars is at 26 degrees of Leo. Across the way, we see something interesting, that the moon, during the course of today, is going to oppose that Mars from the 7th house. So if you were born today, watch out for an incident with your partner, because the 7th house speaks to the other, the significant other. Now, that could be a first marriage partner. That could be a business partner. This just means that the moon is going to trigger this Mars right here. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video now just to review it.